I joined my aunt's dental office fresh out of college, didn't know anything about dentistry, but learned really quickly, and in 2 years we doubled the business. But then we hit a plateau, and we realized that what was holding us back was the practice management software. The entire office operations takes place on a software, scheduling, electronic health records, billing, and a lot of time gets lost flipping between multiple different screens, layered platforms, and overall clunky workflows.
20 years since the last legacy server programs were made. And in that time, we thought, okay, there must be a great cloud version by now. So we wanted to go cloud because we wanted to connect 2 locations with our databases together. So we talked to many dentists out there, and most were frustrated with what they were using. So we thought, okay, we did a whole year of our own research and realized that everything out there was overly complicated and cluttered to use.
So then we decided that we could do it better. It's the power of an enterprise system meets the usability of the consumer interface. So we've taken out the extraneous options and put the complexities underneath the hood to allow us to be 20% faster than a legacy server competitor. And for that, it saves the dental office about 1.5 hours per day. Our target market leverages 2 big trends in dentistry. The first is that multiple location offices are becoming more and more popular, and that drives the need for cloud in order to connect the databases.
The second is that cloud has been so widely accepted that dentists are trusting it more, recognizing that it's convenient and secure. Our first target market involves group practices in California, and then after that, we will expand nationwide.
In the cloud space, we have 3 really close competitors, but what sets us apart is our usability. So let's quantify that with, for example, a 1-page chart. The doctor can see everything clinical on one screen, versus on our competitors' products, this may be spread out over 3 or maybe even 4 different pages. We charge a monthly subscription based on how large the dental office is, and our pricing is fairly similar to what our competitors are charging. But our added value is being unparalleled in usability. Lifetime value here is calculated on a 4-year contract because we're just starting out. But realistically, a B2B SaaS company would stay on for much longer.
Our market strategy involves free clinics. And although free clinics are able to provide free dental care to their patients, they're able to pay us because they receive grants from the funding from the grants. And then they also have a lot of volunteer dentists. And with the volunteer dentists, we get free exposure, and also it generates leads. We are very grateful to partner with the largest free clinic in California, and they will be using our software for their mobile clinic events. For our sales strategy, let us share with you how dentists make their purchases. So dentists will buy anything from disposables to equipment and technology through their local distributors, and also through their sales reps, mainly because of the trusted relationships. Pascal, who's leading our sales force, he has a nationwide team of independent sales reps, and all of them have their own customer base. And this April, we are very, very excited that we will partner with a local distributor in Orange County, and we will present about 100 of their dentists, and we'll do workshops for them.
So we have been beta testing for about 4 months now, and one of these offices here at Cottage is scheduled to go completely live in about 1 week. The Sonic is a free clinic Kimberly mentions for the mobile events, and OC1 is that distributor that will be doing our big demo event in April. We plan to increase our revenue per client by continually upgrading features and functionalities, and we'll look at new channels to increase our client base and strategic partnerships, also possibly adjacent markets. In the first 2 years, we expect a really high cost-to-revenue ratio while we optimize our operations and as we adjust those systems to market feedback.
Our fabulous team consists of our lovely co-founder and CEO, Tiffany, and she has dental management experience and is finishing her MBA in technology commercialization.
Kimberly, our wonderful co-founder, has been a practicing dentist of over 20 years. She founded 2 successful dental offices and an annual free dental event. Pascal, who's leading our sales, has also over 20 years in dental sales. He led the team for a dental X-ray startup from San Jose to being in 80 different countries. And David has founded multiple successful SaaS companies up in the Bay Area, One of his companies went through Y Combinator. At the end of this year, we will be announcing our 2 million seed round. But between now and then, we're looking to raise $500,000 to support our initial clients and implement their feedback. So, if you know of anybody who would be able to participate in either rounds, we would greatly appreciate the introduction. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, well done. It was a great presentation. So, if I'm an existing dental clinic and I wanted to switch to you guys, how long does it take to get onboarded? What's that process like? How involved is it?
The onboarding process is about 2 weeks once we have the data map. So what we would be using the funding right now is to build this data maps. There are about 4 big server-based platforms out there currently. And if we have the mapping for them, then it's a high initial cost for us to create, but once an office comes on who's using one of those programs, it's a pretty easy plug and play. The data transfer itself would only take like a day or so. In terms of training, because our system is so intuitive and easy to use, the interface is very familiar to like a consumer, iPhone, Android, anything modern. So the training time is very low, but the 2 weeks onboarding is just for the office to get acquainted to the new workflow and implement that into their system.
Is this software going to be limited to dentistry, or do you see opportunity to go into, I don't know, optometry or just
We do. Yes. So down the road, we thought about yes, optometry and other healthcares. So veterinary would be another one that would be great because of course a lot of vets, you know, as far as they take care of teeth and so on and so forth. So that would be actually a very nice market for us.
We have a portfolio company who's had to work a lot with dentist's office. Quip, you guys should all buy Quip toothbrushes. And we've learned very quickly that dentist office are kind of slow moving and difficult to kind of get with the times. They have a good business and they're kind of fine with that. How do you guys get these old school businesses to kind of move forward to 2019?
That is a really, really good question because we completely agree with you. So one of the things is with the free clinics, there's a lot of volunteer dentists. So when a dentist volunteers at a free event, they're expecting clunkiness. They're not expecting things to go really, really smoothly. So when they use this and sees that it's really easy, we're thinking that, okay, that's when they said, that's an easy switch. Because they're hesitant because they're thinking, oh my gosh, it's so disruptive to our office. But when they fall in love with the process of using it and it's simple, then it's a much easier way to be able to get them on board.
With this product, will dentist's office be able to get rid of any of their employees?
Get rid of their employees.
Does it make things quicker and easier?
It does make it much quicker and easier.
So the folks that are buying this may not want to buy?
We're making their jobs easier,
Yeah.
and we're catering to offices who want their people to be able to come in and do a job really well, and not have to be weighed down by extraneous, steps and options here and there. Dentistry is a very service-oriented business, so you still need people there to deliver their services. And even front office, it's a very, there's a certain number of patients that come in, and you need a certain ratio of front office people to greet them. So that will remain fairly the same.
It's still very relationship-based, so when it makes it easier for, let's say, the team to be able to do their work well, then they're actually catering to the patients. And if that's the case, then it's actually increasing patient retention. So it's a win-win. And as you know, most of you go to the dentist every 6 months, and some people even go every 3 to 4 months. So if we make the team's life easier, then really the concentration goes back to where it should be, is taking really good care of the patients. And that's what dentists really want at the end of the day.
Have you thought at all about targeting schools?
We would love to be in schools, yes. Yeah, and actually one of our vision is, with our history with doing free clinics and everything, is that eventually one of our visions is to be able to provide the software to free clinics, not just nationwide, but also internationally at one point. But we would love to be able to go back to school. Love to go back to SC, that's...
We actually talked to the SC clinic too. Oh, sorry. Is that... Okay.
How long have you guys been working on this?
So we thought of the idea about 2 years ago, started sketching things up in around November 2017. The first line of code was written in March of 2018. So It's almost 1 year now, and we're planning to be ready for ship and market in the end of April.
Do you have any tips for us?
Oops.
Yeah, I think the judges
I
really
think
love it.
I think it was a great presentation. The only thing, so kind of to Ryan's point earlier, right, is that getting into dentist office, used cars, there's a lot of these smaller industries, restaurants that are hard to sell into because it's a lot of mom and pops or smaller, older owners. And in dentistry, you guys pointed out earlier, that it's that office manager that really seems to make all the decisions when it comes to technology, and the dentist likes doing what they do, which is dentistry. So, I mean, doubling down on that, I think, is a strong strategy.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I think that's actually one of the great selling points of our products, because you have the classic enterprise system that most dental offices are working with all of the tiny cluttered buttons and 100 different ways to get to one page. And that's, typical of an enterprise system. And on the other hand, you have consumer products like a smartphone or a web page, and all of the innovation UI that's being done there is creating this gigantic gap between enterprise and consumer. So most people who work in a dental office, aside from the 1 to maybe 3 or 4 dentists, the rest of the staff is front office, office manager, dental assistants. They are more accustomed to using their consumer products. And so having something that reminds them of what they're used to using and is familiar and easy for them will actually want to make them adopt it even more.
And we also want to target group practices. And that way what happens is normally is one dentist or a group of dentists will own maybe 2, 4, 5, 6 locations. So that way once they are sold on it, then really it's much easier for us because the time to be able to get one office versus one to get one group practice is about the same time.
Just one quick question, last question. Does this software only interact amongst the office itself, or does it interact with the patient?
Oh, love that question.
Good question.
The reason we love that question is down the road we really see that every patient will actually have their own record. So if you're going, let's say you're living in Los Angeles right now, you move to San Francisco, well that's going to be your patient base and your patient record is your health record, just as it is your mobile phone. If you move to Paris, the same thing. So yes, we see that going into the future. And so when this is designed, it's designed with that in mind because down the road we think that's where it's going to go.
Yeah, I think you can get a lot of traction in terms of selling into those mom and pop places if they think that they're also adding a value add to their customer, right? Because I don't know, it's my least favorite thing is trying to track down medical records, personally.
Thank you.